Well, they have done a lot of changes here at Government Wash, like a lot. And some of them I'm just like, but I get why they did it. Very smart. But this is the entrance to Government Wash right here, and they have these two signs up. And one gives you all the rules and regulations. It's not a lot, don't worry. And then this is a map. It's a map because they actually have designated camping spots here now. Before, they didn't. It was a free-for-all. You just go find your spot, set up camp, and then bam, you're camping. But now they have designated 51 campsites, and they even have group campsites, which is pretty cool. But looking at some of the people, they don't respect the fact that it's a group campsite here, because these group campsites, there's one vehicle on them right now. I'm here with a group of people, by the way. We had to get 4 different campsites because of them. But anyways, so yeah, so this is the map of the area, and it shows you where all the camping spots are, shows you where all the bathrooms are. That is correct, bathrooms, because originally back in the day when Government Wash was opened, they did have one set of bathrooms here, and that was at the main entrance in this parking lot right here. But now there's actually bathrooms in the camping area too, which is so nice. You don't have to drive all the way up here to the parking lot if you don't have a bathroom and use the restroom. Now you can probably just walk to the restroom from your campsite. So even though they do have, whoo, look at the plane. I don't know if you guys caught that. So even though they do have 51 designated campsites now, it's still free. Yay. So it's still free, so that means no reservations. It's first come, first serve. You just have to come out here, take a chance that you can find a spot. With 51 campsites, I think you're gonna have some luck. So you can only camp in the designated sites only. 14 consecutive days camping limit. So meaning you can only stay here for 14 days straight, like most BLM lands. So that's about right. Before, people were staying out here for months. They didn't respect the 14-day limit. Then we have the quiet hours, 10 p.m. to 6 a.m. So they do regulate some rules here. Okay, so I know some people are not going to like this right here, but I think it was a very smart idea for them to do this right here, considering what happened to this place and why they shut it down. So now they do have camp hosts. And I believe, because I've already met both of them, there's 2 sets of camp hosts here. So meaning because, you know, one set of camp hosts, they have to have a day off, so the other one will work. They are set up right here in the parking lot at the entrance to Government Wash. So this is the entrance, and they are right here. And they're very nice people. I've already met all of them, and very, very nice people. They're excited to be here and everything. So they do patrol the area. They do go and check the vehicles to make sure that they haven't been here longer than 14 days, and make sure that there's no trash that people have left and everything. So they do your typical campground host duties. I think that was a very smart decision for them to have campground hosts here, because this place definitely needed to be monitored, considering the state of this place before they shut it down. So even though this is still BLM land, it's still free to camp on, there is camp hosts, as you can see. So this is one of the bathrooms right here. And pretty much what you see right here with this bathroom, because this is also right here in the main parking lot, this is what the bathrooms look like throughout the camping area too. So there's 2 bathrooms in here, 2 separate bathrooms. There is a men's urinal and then a toilet, and they are flushing toilets. So they're not pit toilets or, you know, porta potties or anything like that. They're actual flushing toilets. So this one was not that clean. So I'm not going to show you guys the inside of this one right here because it really wasn't that clean. Hopefully the other ones are not like that right there. But, you know, you get it. Bathroom for the people that don't have their own setup. Thank God I have my own setup. Bathroom. Well, this is where I'm set up camp at. It's actually a pretty good spot. It's as you guys can see, I don't know if you guys can see because the water is pretty far out, because yes, the water here at Lake Mead is still pretty low. Even though I did hear the water did go up about 15%, or 15 feet. I think it's 15 feet. I don't know. But anyways, the water is way down there, so I've got a good view of the lake, even looking out my back window on my bus. When I wake up in the mornings, I can see the lake off in the distance, and it's a pretty nice spot. I mean, some of the camp spots that they do have here, because like I said, they're designated, they're literally like right on the road, like right on the side of the road where people are driving by. And like one of my friends has a tent that he's sleeping in, and he's actually in one of those spots. And so these people, they don't respect that there's campers out here, and they will go like 45 miles per hour kicking up all the dirt and dust and everything. So I do disagree with the way that they have some of these camping spots. But like I said, I get why they did what they did, because they're trying to keep people all in one area, so it'll be easier for the camp hosts and the rangers to monitor everybody. So I get it. And off in the distance, like way back there and stuff, used to be able to camp all down there. Used to be able to camp close to the lake and everything, but they do have all of that blocked off now. They do have access. There's roads that you can access to go down to the water, to go fishing and stuff like that. So that's good also. So they did a lot of changes out here, and like I said, I get it on all the changes that they did. It needed to be done, especially with how much out of control this area got right here. So with me being from Vegas, I guess you can consider me a local of Vegas, even though I've been on the road traveling for 4.5 years now. But me personally being a local, I love what they did to the area. So yeah, pretty happy with my spot though. I did get lucky because I got a spot that was pretty secluded. Not really secluded, but it was far away from people. Let's go take a look on how they have some of these campsites set up. I'm not going to walk around to all 51 designated campsites because, well, I just don't feel like doing all that walking today. So we're just going to walk in this area, and you guys can kind of see how they have the campsites designated and everything. Like I said, this is my campsite right here. And then over there is my friend Michelle in her van, and then there's some people behind her camping in their RVs. So this little area right here is pretty spread out. Then across the street over here is my friend in his travel trailer. And then I do have my friend in his tent over there. So, yeah. And then each campsite too, each campsite has fire rings, actual fire rings, and they have grill grates on top of the fire rings too, so you could actually cook on top of the grill, on top of wood or charcoal or something. So that's nice. That's a new addition, is the fire rings with the grill grates, because before it was just your typical fire pits with rocks. So if you've been to Government Wash before, then you will know this is the main road right here into Government Wash. So it's the main road when you come in. So this is where most of the campsites are. And then when you first come into Government Wash, first come on the road, there is another little road that you can turn right. And you see these vehicles out there in the distance? That's the road that you take right. And it's just one little, I want to say maybe the road is about a half a mile long, and then they have campsites over there. I'm gonna be quite honest with you though, that first road over there, those campsites are horrible because most of them are right off of the road. There is one group campsite way up here that sits up on the hill that's by one of the bathrooms. That's at the end of that road, and that's about the only decent campsite on that road. But as you can see, my friend that's over here in his trailer and truck, this is one of those, it's not really right on the edge of the road, but it's kind of right off the road. And then over here where you see the RV, that's right there. And then my friend in his van, in his tents, those are right off of the road. So meaning all these people that speed coming through here are kicking up dirt right on these people that are camped right on the side of the road. They just opened the place back up. So you can see how it's right, literally right off the side of the road. So those are some of the campsites that I disagreed on, but I like I said, I understand why they did it though. And then each campsite, we're gonna go over here and see, each campsite is marked. And if, like I said, there's also group campsites out here. So if there's a G on these little markers, that means it's a group campsite. And then it'll also tell you whether you can camp there with a tent or with an RV. So I'm in site number 8 right now. There's no electric at the campsites. There's no water out here either, by the ways, except for the lake. So no potable drinking water. Pretty much the only amenities that they have are the bathrooms here and then the dumpsters. Cell signal, they must have did some improving on that, because I remember before when I would come out here to Government Wash, it was a hit or miss with the cell signal. I have perfect cell signal out here. So cell signal is great. And then over here, you see, so this is how they have everything blocked off now, is with these hills of dirt and rock. But all out there used to be camping, which we'll take a walk in a minute down there. Take a little walk, and I'll show you guys where one of my favorite camping spots were out here. But I think they did a great job. Now, only if they can keep up with keeping this place not getting back to what it was, with all the crime and the trash and everything. That would be nice, because I don't want to see them shut this place down again. And of course, every time I come to Vegas, I have to make sure that I get to see my beautiful friend Brittany, that you guys, if you have followed the channel for a while, have already seen in a couple of videos. So yeah, Brittany comes out and visits me every time I come to Vegas. So one of my greatest friends right there, most definitely. And then we got Zoe and Brooke down there. So we're gonna go for a little walk. Say, and there's Miss Zoe. Can you say hi to everybody? Hi. Hi. And then we got Miss Brooke. Can you say hi?
Can you say hi, Brooke?
Say hi. She's occupied. She's trying to take an important phone call right now. Important phone call. So there was a certain reason why I wanted to come out here to Government Wash. Obviously, A, because I was just excited that they opened it back up, and I wanted to see all the changes that they did and stuff with the place. But B, my best friend Jeff, that was my best friend in the whole entire world. If you follow the channel for a while, you guys will know that I lost Jeff to pancreatic cancer, so he passed away a few years ago. But when I first started my travels, his parents gave me a bunch of his ashes to take to all these places that I'm going to, because Jeff was an outdoors person too. He liked to hike, he did mountain biking, he loved camping. Yeah, he just, anything with the outdoors, he was very passionate about. So this place right here at Government Wash, out of all the places that Jeff camped at, and it's been a lot of places, this place was his favorite spot right here. So I thought it was appropriate to finally be able to come out to Government Wash, spend some time where me and Jeff spent a lot of time at his favorite camping spot. And I brought his ashes with me, which you guys see sitting on the grill down there. So Jeff can enjoy the view and just enjoy being back out here at his spot. So I've carried Jeff around in this little box for the last 4.5 years with me. Now, some of his ashes I did spread across certain places that I've been at, because his parents did ask me to spread some of his ashes in places that I thought Jeff would have loved, or places that Jeff had been before that he loved. So I did that for the first 2 years of my travels. I do have just a little bit of his ashes left, which I will be keeping for myself. A really nice person gave me a bracelet a couple of years ago for me to put ashes in, and that's where I'll be putting the rest of his ashes at, is in this bracelet that I have. But before I transfer him out of the box into the bracelet that I have, I wanted him to be able to enjoy his favorite camping spot again. I'm not going to say one last time, because I'm sure I'll be out here again with Jeff. So the only thing that kind of sucks though is the place that me and Jeff used to love to camp at every time we would come out here is one of those areas that are out there that you can't camp at anymore. But I can still see it, I can still have the memories, and I can still enjoy it. All right, we're gonna go take a little walk down here in the section that you cannot camp anymore. And even though they do have it blocked off with these hills of dirt and rock and everything, you can still from my understanding, because I've already done it a couple of times. I've walked a little one out here. Me and my friends have both hiked down here. So I think you still can go out here and hike. I've seen other people doing it too, so you just can't camp out here anymore. And then, oh, yep, here it is. My favorite spot over here, where me and my best friend Jeff used to always love to camp. It's right over this little cliff. And you can see the remains of some of the fire pits that were here before. The place has been shut down for about a year, so this whole area. First time ever Government Wash got shut down. I mean, my personal opinion, I think they shouldn't have let it get out of control. They could have nipped it in the butt pretty quickly. But I'm sure there was reasons. So, down here, this whole area is where me and my best friend Jeff used to always love to camp at. And you used to be able to access it from the main dirt road up there. You can see a fire pit right there. And there is tons of coyotes out here, by the ways. And when I say tons of coyotes, I mean they don't just come out at nighttime. They come out during the day. I actually was outside of my bus the other morning, yesterday morning actually, and a coyote just came walking by like it was a dog. Just walking right by me in front of my bus. Stopped, looked at me, and then kept just walking. We are in their territory, you know, so. I do want to discuss one thing though, because after talking to the rangers here and talking to the camp hosts that we have here, this place, as I'm filming this right now, has only been reopened for 1 week. Now, I do know that when they shut Government Wash down, there was a lot of locals in Vegas that was not happy, because Government Wash out here at Lake Mead was one of the very few places that you actually could drive your vehicle right down to the water. And people like to come down here, party, leave their trash, but fish. You know, so a lot of people used to love to come down here and fish. My best friend, that's why this was one of his favorite spots, was because he could come down here and fish all the time. So sadly, though, after talking to the camp hosts and a couple of the rangers, the locals should be really happy that this place is opened back up and that they cleaned it up the way that they did, and they got the riffraff out and the crime and the drugs and crime and trash and all that stuff, you know. And so when the locals come down here, of all the people, they should be the ones who should respect this the most, because now they have their fishing hole opened back up. They have their little party spot opened back up. But the access that you have to get down to the water where people like to go and fish, I've already went down there a couple of times, and you clearly could tell they're all locals down there fishing or hanging out for the day at the lake and stuff. I've been told that every single day the camp hosts go down there and they're picking up trash. And I'm not talking about just a cup here and there or a piece of paper. They're picking up bags of trash already down there at the lake. And bottles. Lots of beer bottles. I don't get it. Now, I'm not talking trash about the locals here, because I'm a local here. I used to live here in Vegas for 16 years. So it is my hometown. But I'm just mind-boggled and shocked that it was such an uproar of this place being shut down because of how bad this area got, and it was bad. And people were upset because their fishing hole was shut down. Their place to go down to the lake was shut down. And now it's open back up, not even for just 1 week. Only 1 week it's been open back up. And every single day, the camp hosts are picking up bags of trash. And there's dumpsters. Multiple dumpsters. I want to say there's like 5 or 6 dumpsters up there at the entrance of this place that are free. They're open. They're free. For you to go have your fun day out at the lake, fish, drink, do whatever you want. And then when you're leaving, you just stop. You got to pass right by those dumpsters. Literally, you pass right by those dumpsters. So pass them right by. It takes 2 seconds to stop, get out of your vehicle, and throw your trash in the dumpster. Because you know what's going to end up happening again? Is people are going to continuously trash in the place again and leaving their trash where they're just going to say, you know what? We're shutting it down again. And then those same locals that like to come out here because this is their favorite fishing hole or their favorite place to catch some sun at the lake or hang out at the lake or get into the lake, those same people that are down here doing that, leaving their trash, are going to be the same ones that are going to go into an uproar again about, oh my God, I can't believe they shut it down again. It's crazy. Absolutely crazy. You know, like, I don't get it. So, for everyone, whether you're a local, you're a traveler, a camper, whoever, it's not that hard to pack it in, pack it out. Meaning, what you pack in, bring in with you, your beer, your sodas, your water, your food, put it in a trash bag and throw it away. So all our land, all our public lands that we are able to enjoy doesn't keep getting shut down. I can't believe that I even have to give that PSA. So one of the things Lake Mead got famous for, when people had never heard of Lake Mead, was the water levels going down really bad in the lake. Because Lake Mead has a lot to do with the Colorado River and everything. You know, that body of water right there is a body of water that goes through a couple of different states. So the water level got extremely low. And when it got so low, things were starting to pop up out of the lake. Boats that had been submerged underwater for decades or years, they were starting to pop up out of the water. There was one infamous boat that kind of went viral all over the internet because of the way it was positioned in the lake. When it submerged, it was sticking straight up in the water. It was pretty cool, and I actually did a video of that. So, because I came down here when everybody was in an uproar about that boat, and I was like, I'm gonna go find it. And so you basically had to off-road through all this right here, because a lot of this down here, you need a 4x4 vehicle to get to the areas down there. And of course I had my Jeep, so I was able to off-road down there, and then I had to hike around one of those hills, and then it was like on the other side of the hill. I'm sure a lot of you guys remember that, but that boat is no longer there. They did take that boat out, and they did take a lot of the other boats and the debris out of the water. So if you're coming down here to look for that infamous boat that went viral all over the internet, it is no longer there. It was pretty cool to see though, because literally it was just straight up in the air. So it's kind of crazy. I mean, it's just such a beautiful area. All this used to be camping. All of this. All up there on the hills. You used to be able to camp. You can see some of the dirt roads still going out there. It was just a free-for-all. You just camped wherever you found a spot that you wanted to camp at. And it was the only area in this whole entire national recreation area, because it is a national recreation area. It was the only area in this whole entire place that got trashed and got that bad and got out of control. My personal opinion is it's because it was such a big, huge area. And such a huge open area where people knew that they could just come and set up wherever they wanted to. Because all the other places that you can camp at out here, they have established campsites. They have camp posts. So that's why they never got out of control like this place. So I know there's going to be a lot of people that are in an uproar about the designated campsites now and the camp hosts being here. But that just goes to show that all the other places, because there's tons of places to camp out here in Lake Mead, all the other places had established campsites with camp hosts, and they never got out of control. Let's go on top of this little hill right here. Get a nice little view. I can't put my drone up in the air here because this isn't a part of the national park system. And you can't fly drones in national parks, national recreation areas, or national monuments. So let's go see what's up over this hill. It's so crazy to think that, or to know, that all this, all that, used to be part of the lake, the water. There used to be water that came through all of this area right here. There used to be a boat ramp out there. I did notice, because you used to be able to still see parts of the boat ramp. I don't see the boat ramp anymore, so so they must have taken out the boat ramp that was here, because I don't see it. It used to be right at the end over there. So to know that the boat ramp used to be way up there, that's how far the water used to go up to. And then you got all this land, and now the water is way out there in the distance, way out there. Absolutely nuts. All right, let's get off this hill, go back. Got to start getting dinner together. The stars out here too at night, you can still see them a little bit, but because we are in one of the cities that have probably some of the most light pollution in the city, Las Vegas. I mean, this is on the outskirts of Las Vegas, but you can still see the lights from the strip off in the distance. And there is a lot of light pollution at nighttime out here. So if you're coming out here to stargaze, this is the wrong place for that. But you can see, this is all camping. That's 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 all camping. And that's all camping. So it looks like it's just one big, huge circle, basically. The sun will be setting soon. I'm parked up there on that hill somewhere.